The People Not Titles podcast is brought to you by Land Trust Title Services, your partners for results. Hello again, everybody. This is Steve Kaempf with the People Not Titles podcast. I'm here with my colleague and cohort, Matt Lombardi. Matt, we have July 15th, Market Trends Edition. There's been a groundswell of popularity with this program, and I believe it's all because of you, Matt.
And I say it's all because of you, but it's the Mutual Admiration Society. But we thank you for watching and listening.
Absolutely.
And growing our viewership and subscribers.
Yeah, and don't forget, if you're watching this, don't forget to subscribe. It helps us out to deliver the content that you need. Matt, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
We were just talking that we're tired of talking about Compass, but there's always something to say, and I believe we have new news, so lay it on us.
Friday afternoon is when you don't want news to drop, but you want to put something out there to get the feathers ruffled of people. So
yes.
Friday afternoon, last Friday, July, what is it, 11th?
Yep.
Was Zillow. Look at it, I'm losing it. Compass agrees to share their exclusive listings, sort of.
Yes. So Compass has, I think the narrative has been that Compass is anti-clear cooperation, and Compass, forget about getting ahead of it because that's already out of the tube, but in this case, they're trying to regain the narrative and wrestle it back, Matt.
Yes.
And let's hear what the new narrative is.
So this offer comes with two conditions. Number one, the brokerage or MLS must not alter or monetize the homeowner's listing and must keep the listing agent prominently featured, which means if a brokerage wants to tap into their private listings, they can. If an MLS wants to do it, they can and showcase it. However, those listings can't be resold to a third party. Like who? Like Zillow, who they are in lawsuits with. So this sort of gets to what Steve just said, the heart of the matter, which is, okay, we're going to share our listings within these certain parameters.
Yes, and so they're saying basically they do agree with clear cooperation and kind of spinning the story to, we've always agreed with having full access, which wasn't the case, and now their cannons are shifting towards Zillow and what Zillow is doing with all of this information, which, Matt, you want my opinion on this? I know you do.
We all do, including myself.
Matt, my opinion is that most brokerages feel the same way Compass does, which is they kind of chafe at the idea that Zillow is leveraging all their hard work and monetizing it.
100%.
Yes.
And we've discussed this. Zillow, for good or for bad, is the major player in the marketplace because they filled a void many years ago to capture the eyeballs of consumers.
Yes.
Realtors, you were second to the list. The most important thing was getting consumers and creating the Zestimate. Just having a conversation with my sister this weekend, who was in from Georgia.
Anecdotal, but powerful.
And she said, well, I checked my Zestimate and it's X amount. And I said, do not trust your Zestimate. And then she claimed, well, my tax assessor is using Zestimates to assess my house. I said, I hope your tax assessor is not. And by the way, I don't think the tax assessor in Cobb County, Georgia is using Zestimates. But it's become so prevalent as part of normal conversations is my Zestimate is this.
What does Zillow say?
This.
Yep.
So for good or for bad, Zillow has grown into this, and they are a powerhouse.
Right, and Zillow has been known for taking agents' listings out from underneath them, finding new buyers for them, leveraging mortgage stuff, getting their piece of the pie on title. So most people look at this and go, how do we stop the beast? And so Compass, I would say, well played here, Matt, in the sense that now the narrative is spinning to, what is Zillow doing with all the information that we've worked so hard to get? And I believe that it positions Compass a little better than where they were before Friday's news.
It creates, once again, more news. This is more of a positive thing,
yes.
I think, for people. It's like, okay, if a brokerage really wants to tap into the
6,000 plus.
Yeah, 6,600 plus private listings, Maybe they don't have to go to the printed private listing book anymore and come to the office.
Yeah, and maybe Matt, we had our secret squirrel information a episode or two ago about a Compass agent saying, "Here's what their real play is." This seems to be shifting, and they're not just talking about Zillow; they are talking about Realtor.com and what they do with the information. And so this is a shot across the bow to Zillow, a shot across the bow to Realtor.com. We don't want our listings monetized, and I think you might see other brokerages follow suit depending on how this goes, Matt.
Well, Javi Hanna from Hanna
He's
Real
been there.
Estates, he's
Yep.
on the same team and saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And he's a big player. So brokers who own the listings, quote unquote, own the listings, are tired of giving up the listings.
Yes.
In terms of monetizing the listings. And as you said, Zillow, and we've said this in previous episodes, they have learned to monetize every part of the real estate transactions on the back of you real estate professionals and everybody else in between.
So we're going to see big shift and big change. That's my prediction. Matt, let's get on. Realtor.com acquires Zen List. What does that mean?
So Zen List is a housing app which has 200 plus thousand users. I believe it's for buyers agents and home buyer sellers.
Mm-hmm.
And this just goes to the fact of consolidation in the real estate industry,
Yes.
not just amongst brokerages, but amongst bigger players. So ZenList was established in 2016. They have major partnerships and relationships with many of the large MLS out there, including locally Baird & Warner.
Yes.
Has been a client and partner of them for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is just another thing. And what ZenList is it facilitates joint property searches and features in-app communication systems for agents and home buyers to share listing and coordinate tours using Google Maps. So it's a really user-friendly system. It's a nice app platform. So now it's under the family of Realtor.com. And I don't know what's going to become of it now that it's a Realtor.com company, but this just goes to show you and everybody watching and listening that consolidation is not just for the brokerage field, but also for companies in the real estate space.
Matt, it does lead us to the fact that if you are a niche service provider providing small pieces of information that are useful, eventually you're going to get gobbled up by one of the big folks, and now all of a sudden you can be part of their platform. And so we'll see how brokerages respond to that,
Right.
And how excited they'll be now that they're going to be kissing the ring of Realtor.com to have access to ZenList.
Right. The big just keep getting bigger, and these companies, that may be part of their business strategy too.
Yes.
The founders of ZenList, they nurtured, created, grew the company, and at some point they're going to say, yeah, we're going to sell off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's our highest bidder?
Yep.
So who knows if there was bidding, if this was just a private transaction.
I'm sure there was bidding, Matt, but we
Yep.
can find out about that. Matt, this is good news, I believe, for the consumer. New credit score now allowed in addition to FICO. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, so this is an interesting take. So for my lifetime, your lifetime, FICO score.
What's your FICO score?
My FICO score?
No, I'm just saying. That's what everyone would ask. Not what's your credit score, maybe credit, but FICO.
Got it. My FICO score is pretty good. By
Okay,
the way, just
congratulations, Matt.
Yes, thank you.
We can post that next time.
But so FICO, which is Fair Isaacson Corporation, they were the only game in town, sort of, and I don't know how and why it was created, and it became the standard that everybody used for credit checks.
And it became a big mystery for most consumers to go, how do I improve I pay off my debt, my FICO goes down. I do this. You think it would put me in a stronger position? It doesn't. So this may now create a new narrative for how to improve your opportunity to borrow.
So last week it was announced that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will now accept this new score called VantageScore 4.0 for mortgage underwriting in place of or alongside of FICO score. And what this new Vantage score is, and it was developed by Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, which are the three
big credit
services out there that hopefully everybody knows about. And they helped create this, and it incorporates rental, utility, telecom payments into credit reports. So this is helpful, I think, for people on the younger side, renters, people who don't have, quote unquote, what FICO scores look at for their credit history.
Yes.
So this opens up, I think, a better opportunity for first-time home buyers, younger home buyers to get accepted for their mortgage application.
Matt, and I think it's really interesting that what it doesn't, and most people believe that I need to borrow money to improve my credit score. But here, these elements, rental, utility, telecom, things like that, those are not elements of I'm getting my ass further in debt to improve my FICO score so I can borrow more. This is I'm a responsible human being and I want to borrow some money, and I don't have to equate it to necessarily I need to go get loans to do it.
And so this creates a new competitor or option
Yes.
for those of you getting mortgages out there that'll be backed by Fannie and Freddie. So I think at the end, it's a good thing for consumers. It's a good thing for the industry. And my prediction, you want to hear my prediction?
Yes.
That this will filter into other industries, such as when you're getting a car loan.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is the logical next step is what's your credit score? Well, now what's your VantageScore?
Yes.
May be used as part of that to open up opportunities for people who need those opportunities.
Matt, and what I think has happened is I think that probably with AI and with other consumer reporting, they have found out that there are other elements to credit worthiness and safety in terms of we have a great mortgage loan and they're leveraging it. And I think it'll expand the opportunity for people to buy homes.
Agreed.
Okay. Matt, delistings, this is shocking. Delistings surge nearly 50% as sellers who can't get their price quit the market in frustration.
So we talk about listings.
Mm-hmm.
How great are listings? What's happening with listings? What's the inventory?
Yes.
It never occurred to me. Maybe never.
Delistings.
What's happened with delisting? So houses that are put in the MLS and listed publicly, and then they pull them off. So this, like you said, nearly 50%. It's actually 40% nationally compared to a year ago. Homes were delisted, and this reflects sellers' reluctance to negotiate and or accept lower prices on their homes. So year-to-date delistings are up 35%. Increase is, there's a rise in inventory, but despite an almost 9% increase in new listings, delistings are outpacing new listings with 13 homes delisted for every 100 new listings in May.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I put my house on the market. I listed for a certain price. Offers come in. I don't like any of these.
Mm-hmm.
Realtor, pull my listing. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have a contingent offer
Take me off the
somewhere else.
market.
Take me off. And its sellers are increasingly withdrawing homes from the market rather than accepting lower prices because they have such a higher home equity in it and they don't need to.
Matt, I saw, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
I saw
you're
in
good.
Phoenix, there were 30 homes pulled from the market for every new listing in May.
Right.
So that's a net of minus 29, one listing, and then 30 coming off. Unbelievable.
Right. So this is not necessarily happening in our local area, in the Chicago marketplace, the Midwest marketplace. This is more southwest where this is happening. But still, I was blown away, probably like you, Steve, when you see this delisting story, and it's like, wow.
I think we're going to have a new stat, a new metric, how many delistings in every market, and that's fascinating. Matt, another fascinating thing is investors are buying a growing share of U.S. homes, where now it's said that real estate investors bought nearly 27% of all the homes in the first quarter of the year. Amazing.
Highest share in 5 years.
Amazing.
Highest share in 5 years. So yes, between the first quarter of this year, which is January through March, investors purchased 265,000 homes, a 1.2% increase from last year.
Matt, you know what? I see a good sign here. Most people, when they hear that, they go, oh, BlackRock, oh, China, oh, that. But there's a surprising
Hey, thanks for listening to the People Not Titles podcast. We are brought to you by our great sponsors, Land Trust Title Services, your partners for results.
There's a surprising stat here. What is it?
85% of investors, what's quoted as, investors, are small investors owning 1 to 5 homes make up 85% of what is known as investor-owned residential properties. While the large, what you're saying, the BlackRocks and others, these large institutional investors that own 1,000 homes or more, just over 2%.
Man, I believe the rate of return for these larger investors, because they want to do it just kind of en masse. They don't understand market areas as well as local investors do. I believe that they're backing out because they're too far away from a transaction. And this allows me to segue into the fact that we have a wonderful podcast with the premier the CEO of Chicago Real Estate Investment Association, RIA, um, Andrew Holmes, who is teaching folks how to buy properties to build their net worth over a long period of time. It's not a get rich quick. It's not come in, give me a seminar, sell me a book, and leave me high and dry. It is about mentoring. It is about building worth. It's about being pragmatic. It's about being smart and buying smart and selling smart and holding smart. So I think this is a great way for the average American to get their piece of the American dream and even go beyond that.
Yeah, I was pleased to see that 85% data point that the majority of investors are small time
Yeah,
investors, which
people want to build worth.
right, and they're invested. Usually, it's a local play,
Yep.
so they're more invested in that investment property,
Yes.
literally and figuratively.
Yes.
They're going to nurture it. They're
Yep.
going to care for it. They're going to make sure the client and
The
tenants are good.
Yep.
So it's nice to see. But yes, so investors are buying a growing share, and the biggest part of that are the smaller investors. And as Steve said, our new partner, Andrew Holmes, and his mastery program and the Investment Association, great for those of you that are looking to get into the Chicago area investment group.
Yeah, Matt, and I think for real estate professionals, whether you're a broker, a mortgage person, whatever, to be adept and to kind of position yourself in a brand thought to say, hey, I'm an investor resource for you. I can help you build your net worth. I believe this is showing that just because you bought and sold homes to people that are occupying it, those people are kind of dormant investor wannabes, and there's going to be a way to foster and build that up.
Yes.
Okay. Matt, Chicago startup aims to protect home buyers from HOA surprises. And what are these surprises we're talking about, Matt?
So these surprises are special assessments that you may not know about when you're buying, for example, into a condominium.
Yes.
Where there's a homeowners association that is part of the condo ownership. So there is a new local startup. It's called HOA Warranty, and it's likened to an electronics appliance warranty. And the thought, which I think this is a really neat idea,
I do too. I hope it's profitable for them.
I hope it works out. It's just for our viewers and listeners out there. This is local only in Illinois, Chicago specifically, but the state of Illinois, and hopefully it'll expand elsewhere. But there's a huge condominium inventory in the Chicago marketplace, so this makes perfect sense. And so what happens is you have a potential buyer, or you are a potential buyer going into a condominium and want to buy it, but you're a little worried about the finances at the condo association or the homeowners
They're
association.
underfunded, they've neglected work, whatever.
Right. So you may notice the roof is 25 years old. You get a home inspection, or you look at their records and say, oh, this is not good. They're going to have to replace the roof. Or the elevator is 30 years old and at the end of its lifespan, and that's going to be a $50,000 to $100,000 cost, and then that's spread in a special assessment. So this HOA warranty is insurance against that.
Yeah.
So I'm buying a new condominium. I get a HOA warranty policy. Costs about $800, at least in the example here. So if I get a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000
extra assessment,
special assessment, it's insured.
Yes.
And so this, I think, is a great idea for buyers who are worried buying into a condominium of a special assessment. My first thought was Florida marketplace.
Yes.
I don't know how they would make money in there because of unknown special assessments.
It might be pricey.
But yeah, so I think this is a neat idea. The specifics is the warranty is available for homeownership associations with 5 or more units and does not cover assessments disclosed before the sale. So if you know you're buying a place, you're going in and they say, by the way, there's going to be a special assessment on December 1st, 2005 in the amount of $10,000, that's not covered at this. But after the transaction, if they say, oh, by the way, here it is covered. So neat concept. I hope this guy does well. His name's Rhett Graves, who is the founder of this. I think he's doing it all himself.
Matt, I think, funding it himself. Matt, I think that the benefit of this will be that every single one of these associations will be underwritten. And so you'll have Rhett and his team checking it out saying, I think this is insurable. I think that
Yeah.
the times that and if they do offer a homeowners association warranty, it's more than likely that there won't be a special assessment. Otherwise, they wouldn't offer it. And so the fact that this might be another litmus test for those who are wary about buying condos, say, hey, listen, is there a warranty available? They say yes, and here's the price. You may decide not even to get the warranty. That just might be enough for you to say, I think if he's going to insure it, I'm willing to take the risk myself and self-insure against that special assessment.
Yes.
But I think for brokers, for mortgage loan officers, for them to look at this and to offer this might unstick a whole segment that are a little leery of condos, but will now get in.
I love the entrepreneurial spirit that's out there. Like, here is this
100%.
need, here is this niche, and this gentleman comes along and says, try this out.
And you will probably see models of it in Florida, in Texas, or wherever else these condos are stuck. You'll now have some type of insurance. It may be costly, but I think the best part of it is that these associations are going to have formal underwriting so that now, if there's homeowners association warranties available, you can know they've been underwritten because they don't want to lose money.
Before we go on to these stories, do you want to talk about and not to put you on the spot,
No,
but I
Matt,
think
yes.
this fits better now than.
Yep, we talked about local versus national versus local inventory. Chicagoland is 64%. Their inventory is 64%. They're the highest. We covered this, Matt. Highest in the nation with inventory amounts being low.
So this is minus 64%.
Minus 64%. Thank you, Matt.
Which is insane. So we've been spouting, and you've been hearing a national narrative of listings are up, inventories are up, this is great. Illinois is one of the outliers. So Wisconsin, Illinois, the states in the Northeast, if you look at this map of inventory between, I think it's 2019-ish
Yes.
to today,
Mm-hmm.
we are 64% less inventory levels today than we were 5 years ago.
Matt, and I thought it was interesting in Chicagoland that in 2024, they have the stats, and we all kind of said it can't get any lower. And it looks like in June that 2025 is crossing the Rubicon of going lower than 2024. So Chicagoland still has a major inventory issue, and the price issue is even, to give you, for instance, on inventory, in 2019, the Chicago market had 534 listings on the market. In 2025, they had 121. So it's 20% of the 2019. Yet the average sales price is through the roof.
Right.
525,000 compared to 390 or something like that.
So the room we're in, you're going to hear me and maybe not see me.
Here we go, Matt.
We're in a eco-friendly conference room, so the lights go out if we're not moving around too much.
Yeah, so the long and short of it is Illinois still has a severe housing shortage.
We have a long way to go.
Yeah, we have a long way to go.
We have a long way to go.
And that means there's an opportunity for builders to step in. Someone will fill the gap, Matt, and that means there's going to be more renters out. Everyone needs a place to live. So people either need to rent or buy a new place. So that is, I believe, a catalyst for the investment market as well.
Yeah, and I've been seeing, and you probably see it, the vast majority of new developments out there are rental.
100%.
I mean, really, there's a few places that are new construction to buy. Vast majority of these new builds or conversions are rentals.
Yes. Matt, we have breaking news on the Pope.
We all love
Who'd have thought the Pope would come in here, Matt, for this?
Pope Leo, also known as Robert Prevost, born and raised in Dalton, Illinois.
White Sox fan, but we're not going to hold that against him.
White Sox fan. Everybody thought he was a Cubs fan originally.
Yep.
We actually had our CLE the day it was announced of his popeship.
Yes.
But a local celebrity nonetheless.
Absolutely.
And a Chicago guy through and through, which I think is pretty fun.
Yep.
But his childhood home was purchased by the village of Dalton for $375,000. For those of you that don't know, Dalton is a southwest suburb. I don't know how many miles, 20 miles?
Probably 20.
Outside of downtown, 25 miles southwest of downtown. Highest price sold for a house in Dalton ever.
Wow.
But
So it's the Vatican. It's Chicago's version of the Vatican.
it's going to be. So Dalton bought it, and the thought is because of this now historical significance of his childhood home, making it a global landmark, that I think Dalton will, they're anticipating and expecting, and there's also like companies out there that are doing Chicago tours, and part of that will be the Pope tour.
Wow.
So for those of you interested in everything Pope related, come to Dalton, Illinois.
Matt, and Pope related, I saw that Konerko, first baseman for the 2005 Ozzie Sox, he got Pope Leo to sign his baseball card. And so I think that that's going to be a valuable one right there.
And I think the White Sox used to have the Pope as a pitcher. What was his name? They known him as the Pope.
I don't know.
I'm not a White Sox fan, so you guys can say in the comments who the Pope was.
Okay, good. I don't know. I usually would know, but I don't know. Matt, let's talk about the NAR and their Real Estate Forecast Summit. What's coming up on that?
So a few times a year, NAR, and we've talked about it. I think one of their
Lawrence Yun.
Lawrence is their chief economist, has been there for a long time, and he and his team do a really good job of a real estate forecast, where we've been, where we are, and what they see going forward. Some people viewing and watching and listening may say, well, it's the fox guarding the hen house, but he's been pretty legit about what's happening within the industry.
And he survived the swinging axe over at NAR.
He's still one of the last men and women remaining over there, so he must be doing something right. But they are doing a housing forecast that's free for anybody to do. It's a webinar. It is July 16th from 1 to 2 p.m. Central. I'm registered to watch it. For you trends junkies and information junkies out there, I highly recommend it. I will be watching and taking copious notes to share with you guys.
Yeah, and if they're not going to watch, they can get the news right here, Matt. What's really important.
Even better.
All right, Matt, let's talk about our networking Zoom recording, which we did. We wrote a book on the steps to being an expert networker, and we are pleased that so many folks joined our webinar and had such great feedback saying, I've learned things that I didn't know, even though I attend many events annually.
Yeah, so Steve did a great job moderating.
We had Alan Stern.
Alan Stern, who is the founder and president of a local company called Persona Marketing. He's a AI first marketing guru. And then you had myself, Anya Pullet, and Denise Hellstrom from the Land Trust team sort of giving insights from a panel perspective of networking. But great watch, about an hour long.
Yep.
Great information, and we were very happy with the audience. About 50% real estate professionals, 50% attorneys.
And many introverts and some extroverts, and everyone took something away from it.
Yep. So it is now available on every channel we have, including the People Not Titles YouTube channel, which you should go to, like, and subscribe to it so you catch it real time. The People Not Titles, peoplenottitles.com, as well as the Land Trust YouTube channel.
Excellent.
Now I got some bad news.
Let's hear it.
There will be no market trends next week.
No.
Steve is away, which is a wonderful thing.
Yep.
So
instead my second oldest daughter is getting married, and we're taking the week off to celebrate.
Congratulations.
Matt, hopefully you all out there can last 1 week without our vital information. I think they can, but we'll be back that following week
with 2 weeks worth of great information.
Unbelievable. That'll be probably, I mean, that might be like Anagata Davida, just goes on and on and on.
On and on.
Okay, Matt, thank you very much. People Not Titles podcast, July 15th, 2025, signing off.
Take care.
Hey, thanks for listening to the People Not Titles podcast. We are proudly sponsored by Land Trust Title Services. If you enjoyed the podcast, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and we'd love it if you'd share our podcast with your friends. Thanks a lot.